questions.
All right. A lot of good things happened today. We really locked down defensively in the areas that we felt like we needed to. We wanted to be better guarding the ball. We wanted to be better in ball screens. We wanted to be better in transition. Felt like made a step in all three of those areas. I thought offensively we wanted to attack mindset, attack action with our action. We felt like we were a little lethargic against the zone the last game out, and so we were really ready to go. A lot of things to celebrate, right? The consistency in the offensive attack over 4 quarters, the consistency of the defensive attack over 4 quarters, that we have multiple guys, 4 of them, that had 3 or more assists. This just shows you there's just not an ego on this team. Career highs by the people to my right and left. It's just, as you can see, it's a fun team to coach because nobody cares who, we just care how. And the result spoke for itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Ciera, your game has elevated tremendously from the offseason, even though you're adjusting to the 5 spot. Can you talk about that progression? And then that little run at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very different role than last year. I'm actually posting up this year and, making moves inside and, making an effort to score in the low block. So I think that initiative of, when I get the ball in there, just, knowing that in a game like today, I have the advantage and I can basically score whenever I get it down there and get a good shot for our team. I think just changing that mindset from last year to this year has really helped me.
And then did you come in knowing that this will be this kind of game because you had the height advantage and so on?
I mean, personally, just looking at the scout, I saw the heights and I was like, okay, I'm going to be much bigger and just trust the work I've been putting in. So going into it, I definitely was like, okay, I have a chance to have a really good game here.
Yeah, it's not just mindset. She's gotten better in that area. Her mom was her coach, and anytime your kid is 6'5", you don't want them to be stuck just playing behind the basket or near the basket. And so we always joke, her mom and I are good friends, and we joke that, she gave me a kid that's 6'5" who doesn't have a post move. But the amount of work that Ciera has put in to make herself a post player, as well as a stretch 4, is being celebrated, deservedly so.
Ciera, to go off of that, going into this year, what were some of the things that you maybe changed up physically to get stronger playing that center position, and also technique wise, getting like you guys said, those post moves?
Yeah, I think the weight room was a huge thing in the off season. Just really staying consistent in what I was doing. I mean, we go home for the month of May, and I knew that month away, I had to be really disciplined, and I think that was big for me going into the work of the summer. So definitely that, and just what we've been working on in my individuals changed a little bit because we knew this year I was going to have to be more of a 5 player. So I think those 2 things together really just helped me a lot.
Coach, tonight you guys scored 40 points off turnovers. You forced 23 of them. I'm just curious, what did you see that was forcing so many of those turnovers, and how were you able to capitalize and for the most part, on all those possessions?
Yeah. An eager group that knows that they have a chance to be pretty good. Right, I think anytime there's hope, you can choose to really lean into that, and that's exactly what this team has done. They've really leaned into we're going to have to be menaces and dictate on the defensive end because we're good enough and deep enough to do that. And then on the offensive end, we're gonna attack, and we're going to be really committed to great shots. So I think that the defensive end, I mean, India is one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the country, and then you've got other guys on our team that can play with more energy. Nyla, what did she play today? Brooks has gotten a lot better defensively. She played 17, right? She didn't have to play 35. So these kids can all play harder while they're in, which makes them more efficient. But I think we can be long, so we can switch things, we can trap things, we can hedge things, and we keep mixing it up, which I think also helps. So these guys are just uber focused on how we want them to play.
Nyla, early in the season, the whole team kind of struggled from 3-point range, but everybody's got to hit them. The last 7 quarters have been amazing, and you've been right in the middle. Is it kind of contagious?
Absolutely. I feel like when we make threes, it goes down the line. Like I said, I've been working on my game for a long time, and that 3-point area I've been really focusing on that, especially over the past summer, because I know coming in, Coach Banghart wanted me to get better with my 3-point shot. So I just, stayed in the gym, and our whole team can shoot. We have some off nights, but we most definitely have some on nights, and you're gonna see when we do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about 3-point shooting, and I said, we stat every shot in practice, right? And so the numbers don't lie over the course of a season, and we've been better shooting than it's displayed. And there's a rhythm to it. There's a game confidence to it. we're starting to really find that, which is good.
Now, these first, let's call it 5 games or so, 5, 6 games, it's like you've kind of been finding your shots and, finding your spots on the court. In your first year, first collegiate year, I guess, how has that transition been for you, just finding your flow within the offense and everything like that?
The transition has been pretty. I wouldn't say smooth because I'm playing D1 basketball, so the defenders are going to be.
And India's guarding you every day.
Yeah, India's guarding me in practice every day, so it's hard to even score like that. But I mean, with India guarding me, the game just comes to me because in the game nobody's really guarding like India. India is probably like Coach said, probably the best defender in college basketball right now. So I mean, I would say transition has been kind of smooth because I'm a 3-level scorer. I've been scoring how I've been in high school. So just playing my game honestly and trusting the work I've been putting in. So yeah.
I'm sure there haven't been a ton of games where you didn't miss a shot. They got you down for 7 for 7.
Yeah.
What did you kind of like about your flow today, and just what do you kind of feel like was working for you?
Honestly, my teammates just seeing where I was at, they got me the ball, and I just did what I had to do. I just let the game come to me and just played my game. So.
Any other questions?
Good.
Coach, you guys shot 66% from the field today. That's the highest since 1985, certainly the highest in your career. What did you see against UNCG's zone defense? What allowed the team to get so many open looks and convert at such a high rate? How do you drop on that?
Yeah, what I like is it wasn't all just transition layups. It was they were shots that we earned through when they went to zone. We found our gaps early and often, and we knew what our looks were. I don't think I prepared them quite as well in the last game out. We hadn't seen zone live, so we spent a lot of time on it. I gave our practice guys a big shout out. We told them to come ready to work, and they really worked us over the last 2 days getting us ready. And then in the man-to-man, same thing. We spaced them out, and we're good at that. And so shooting well makes any offense look good, but I also like the shots that we got. And there's been plenty of, actually, quarters and halves I've liked the shots we've got. It's nice when they fall, right? And so we've just got to keep trusting the process. We know we're a young group. We know our goals are really high. So we just try to stay not too high, not too low, and just keep getting better. And this group has done that from game to game.
Any updates on Nyla Harris, Blocker, and Tyson?
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 games this week. These guys are young; they got plenty of energy, and so we hope that they're back. We'll at least have one of them or 2 of them back for maybe even all 3 for Cancun. So if it was something so that I could avoid all the questions, if it was something long term, we would say it. But it's really not. I mean, I'm sure you saw them all hopping around, jumping around just fine. Harris is a vet. I need her to play 3 games in 3 days. We need Blanca to be able to go 3 games in 3 days. And so these guys knew they have to shoulder a little bit heavier load. Good chance for our young guys to get good minutes.
How
They'll be back
close is
soon.
Renaya to 100%? I know she was on the bike before the game.
Yeah. She's only a junior, but man, she's played a lot of minutes here, so she's also in that kind of old lady, I trust her a ton. She's not restricted at this point. I just don't want to overuse her when we don't need to. We don't need to. That poor kid had to play 38 minutes a game her first 2 years and be the only kid that could dribble it. We've got a lot more guys now, so it lets her kind of find her rhythm, but also be fresher when she's in. So all these guys want to look good when they're in. They want to play well when they're in, so we need to be able to shuttle people through. But I think she's feeling like she's back, which is great.
Yeah, I believe you can kind of speak to it at this point, but I know you guys added Kate Harper and signed her recently. Just how big, how significant was it to get her, obviously, number 1, kind of player in the country? Just
Yeah.
How big was it?
Yeah. I'm allowed to talk about it, right? Yeah. We feel like we got both in her and Noelle exactly what this particular team needs. Kate is a fierce competitor, just like all of them. You can tell when she's probably the most understated number 1 player in the country, or number 2, just like Nyla. I mean, Nyla's one of the best players in the country. She's in all the conversations for Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Week, Rookie of everything, right? But she is this joyful kid every day, and so Kate really fits us in that way. But she's going to bring a competitive edge that we have come to expect, and she can really hoop. She's coming here to win. She feels like we're almost there, and she wants to be a part of that, right? Getting us there. And then Noelle, she led the EYBL in defensive efficiency for 2 years in a row. She's a great rebounder, great shot blocker. So she provides the athleticism that we need down there to match up with Ciera's skill and Blanca's skill. So they are exactly what we needed, and we feel really grateful that they saw what we're about. We feel grateful that our kids attract that type of talent, and I really could not have picked two kids I wanted more than those two.
Definitely, and to go off of that, obviously you've added 5 stars in the past, and numbers are numbers, rankings are rankings. But what does that do for a program?
Mhm.
Just to bring in the, I guess, quote unquote highly touted players, year in year out. Just what does that kind of do in the building process of a program?
Yeah, I mean, I think people like that young guys can play, because Nyla's proving it, Renaya proved it. Like, if you're good enough, you can play right away, right? We're only in this to play the kids that help us win basketball games. That's it, right? But they also see the kids get a lot better. I mean, Ciera was a McDonald's All-American. She was hurt, but she was a top 4 player out of high school, too. She just got hurt for 2 years, right? And so they see the development of our people. And so all the players in that locker room over the last 3 years, I give them all a lot of credit because their improvement. Like Harris came because she saw Alyssa's improvement, right? And so, we have to continue to recruit the very best players and people that we can so that we can enjoy nights like that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I just have a quick question for Ciera. You were talking about knowing that the height advantage going into this game and just sort of where that puts you. But when you saw those zone looks and you understood that high post was going to be open, a lot of those possessions, especially in the first half, ran through you, and you kind of took it and you would dish it out and just find ways to make your teammates better. Is that something you were prepared to step into in this game and have a bunch of possessions kind of run through you in that sense?
Yeah, like Coach Banghart talked about yesterday, our boys did a really good job of preparing us for that zone. And also kind of how she talked about it, like I grew up as a guard, so I think that gave me a little bit of like patience in there, and like ready to distribute as well as like looks for myself. But going into tonight, we knew that there was going to be a lot of zone, and I knew that the key was going to be getting it into the high post and kind of scoring and distributing out of there.
Any other questions? Great, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.